Hello and welcome then, ladies and gentlemen, to Inside the ePaddock for round 2 of the 2024 FIM NL MotoE World Championship. My name is Jack Gorst and we'll be talking you through everything that you can expect this weekend and also what we saw at round 1 back in Portimao some weeks ago now, 3 rounds ago to be precise. It feels like quite a long time, but finally MotoE are going to be back on track here in Le Mans in France, and it should be a cracker if anything that we can deduct from history says around this place. Fantastic circuit, lots of history here, lots of fans already packed into the Le Mans circuit here on Thursday for the pit lane walk and other activities. And as you can see behind me, it's starting to get a little bit busy in the MotoE paddock as well. So here on the Inside the ePaddock then, we've got some guests coming up for you that we'll be able to chat to, none being the Eric Granado. Also we'll be chatting a little bit later to Oscar Gutierrez and Hector Garzo as well, so hopefully we'll catch up with them. But Eric is just over here. I'll quickly drag him away from his mechanics. He probably won't like that too much, but we'll see if we can steal a word with Eric. Eric, is it okay just to drag you away for 2 seconds? Sorry to drag you away from your mechanics there, probably talking through some important details for this weekend. Eric, Portimao, round 1 was an up and down weekend, but I think the biggest thing was you had the pace to run right at the front, and it looked like, particularly in that race 1, you might have gone on to win, but unfortunately just that small crash.
Yes, it was a good weekend for me. You know, in the test I was not so fast. I was trying many things on the bike, but then on the weekend I was very fast in all the sessions. I did the pole position. I was very fast in the race 1. I did a little mistake and I had a crash, but on the race 2 I was a little bit more calm. I studied a little bit more the track and the conditions, and I could finish on P4. For sure I would like to be on the podium, but it's okay. I need to do points after this mistake especially. So yeah, now I'm very, very motivated for this weekend. It's a track that I really like. I already won here 3 years ago. So yes, I'm really looking forward to it.
Obviously, it's been a few weeks since you were on track in Portimao. You've been up to anything else? Any other riding elsewhere, perhaps back in Brazil if you went back?
Yes, I had a race in Brazil the week after Portimao, and I was training a lot in Barcelona, where I live now. So yes, very, very ready for the race. And also it's a special one for me because last year I wasn't here. I was injured in the hospital, and now I'm here ready, 100%, good conditions for my body, different from last year. So yes, all in the good way and very happy.
Will it make it a little bit harder? Because obviously last year you weren't here, so first time here on the Ducati MotoE bike. Make it a little bit more difficult this weekend, perhaps?
No, I don't look like this. I'm feeling good on the bike. The feeling is good. I have a very good teammate. He raced here last year, so we can work together and go forward together and have great results for both.
Well, you're fast, so good luck this weekend, Eric.
Thank you.
Have
Thank
fun
you so
out there
much.
as well. So Eric Granado there obviously had an up and down weekend at round 1 in Portimao, but certainly the biggest thing for the rider that's won a race in every single season of the MotoE World Championship and also formerly known as the World Cup, he's definitely still got the speed in 2024. As he said, he's got a very fast teammate, Mattia Casadei, won the very second race of the 2024 season. A really good battle actually between some names that we hadn't seen at the front before, one being Oscar Gutierrez, who hopefully we should be able to get a chat with. I think he is here. I think I saw him earlier, but we'll check in just a couple of minutes. But anyway, some housekeeping while we do go down. Of course, Maria Herrera in the Clint forward team alongside Andrea Mantovani. Andrea perhaps had a weekend that he maybe wouldn't have been too happy with, a handful of points, but nothing really to write home about. I think he got a 9th in the first race and an 8th or something in race 2. And Maria actually got her best points finish for about over a year and a half. I think it was since Austria in 22. So that 11th place in race 1 for Maria, certainly not too bad, taking profit of some of the chaos and crashes we had actually. One of the big ones in that very first race was Jordi Torres when he got taken out, unfortunately, by Alessandro Ciccone. I think actually the Tech Free squad, I don't do a bit of a MotoE team photo here with Nicola Spinelli and Alessandro Ciccone. Of course, Spinelli had a dramatic day, didn't he, in Portimao? Won the very first race of the season, then race 2 was over the line, the white line on his grid starting slot, so essentially it counted as a jump start. Had to go through 2 long laps, but before he even got to the 2 long laps, he crashed. So certainly a bit of a dramatic one. We actually just need to watch out here because there's bikes coming through. It's getting a little bit busy in the MotoE paddock down here. Now, one of the other guests is actually the rider that rides this bike here, the number 4 of Hector Garzo. I can just see Hector in the garage actually. So before the bikes come flying in, we'll see if we can just get Hector out for a quick chat. We're just getting in the way of your mechanics here, Hector. Hector, how are you? All okay?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Good. Looking forward to this weekend. It's obviously going to be a tricky weekend, and you're on a string of 4 second places now. I don't want to talk too much about the victory, but come on, it must be there.
Yeah, for sure, thank you. I'm really excited for this track. I really like it. We are really close, Casadei and me, only 1 point. And sure, I will focus on the work, try to keep it high, at least for the first practice. And well, let's see what happens. In MotoE, you never know.
Exactly, yeah. We see chaos all the time in this class. I think for the people at home that don't really know what it's like to ride these electric bikes, I think it's not much of a secret that not many people ride electric bikes around the world at the minute. What's the biggest thing that jumped out to you the very first time when you jumped on it? Was it maybe the noises that you don't hear, or was it just the feeling of the instant torque?
For sure, the not listening to the noise is something crazy. No, you need to not an adaptation, but for sure you need to focus. Because normally when you listen to the engine, it's a little bit like relaxing for the rider. But I think the most impressive thing is the acceleration. These bikes are crazy acceleration, and also the Ducati guys are making a big progress. So for the future, I think if the weight is even less, for sure the bikes will be much faster.
Well, they teased that actually at the start of the year, that perhaps next year there will be a big update with the bike, so hopefully we do see some of that weight come down. Now, this weekend, obviously, lots of riders have won here before. I think Matias had a win here, Jordi Torres has had a win here, so has Eric. How do you think it's going to be at the front? Obviously, it's going to be close, but is there a few key riders you think will be stronger than the rest? Yeah,
for sure. We can count with the normal top riders of this category. For sure, I count with Casadei, Eric, and Jordi.
Yeah.
But I think that Matteo is the one that is faster here. Last year he showed the big potential after the second race with the long lap even. I think he will be one of the men to beat, but we should see.
Okay, well, good luck this weekend, Hector. Hopefully we get that first place for you.
Thank you very much.
So Hector Garzo there, doing a fantastic job at the minute. As we say, 4 second places in a row on some really, really strong form. If he keeps that sort of form going, he's absolutely going to be a championship contender here in 2024 now. On the other side of the intact GP MotoE garage, there is Lucas Tulovic, who had a really strong round back in Portimao. He's actually sitting up in 4th position in the championship, I do believe. He picked up a 4th and a 6th. That 4th in race 1 was kind of thanks to some big crashes and a little bit of chaos, but the 6th in race 2 was really strong ride, only 1.2 seconds off the win, so it shows you just how close it was as well. But really, really good stuff from Lucas Tulovic, who's kind of getting back into the groove of it in MotoE. Now, this is the Aruba Cloud team, one of the new team entrants. You can't see the numbers, but number 80, Armando Pontoni, probably that bike that you are seeing there. And then on the other side of the garage, we have Chaz Davies, who certainly, if you've been watching Superbikes over the last 10-15 years, you'll know who Chaz Davies is. Definitely a learning experience for Chaz at the minute, hopping onto an electric bike. Not for the first time, he actually helped in the development of the MotoE V21L Ducati, but certainly racing it is a different kettle of fish, and I think he's found that he just needs to adjust some of his style and also adjust to a new tyre manufacturer, racing Michelin's for the first time in his career too. But Chaz took chunks out of his lap time every time, even from race 1 to race 2. So certainly some good progression there from Chaz. Now on this side, we have the 658 squad. Massimo Roccoli, for those of you mid-2000s Supersport diehard fans, you'll certainly know that name, number 55 Roccoli. Actually got a 6th place in race 1, and that was a really, really strong result. 2 top 10s as well. He was 10th in race 2, sorry. And that is the first time he's been in the top 10. Only done 4 starts, of course, because he only filled in for 1 round last year at the Pramac MotoE team. So we'll come down this way and we'll finish off some of the teams and the conversations here. One big conversation is what happened to Matteo Ferrari at round 1. A bit of a difficult round 1, has to be said. Didn't make it into Q2 in qualifying. Even in practice, he had a really poor practice. Not too sure whether he had some issues or just couldn't gel with the bike, but was miles off the pace. And then race 1 crashed, but did remount to finish 13th, I believe. And then race 2, I think he was about 8th, which was definitely better, but not what we expect from the 2019 World Cup winner and frequent race winner here. I think he's won in every season again, another one that has done it in every season. But Matteo here was, without doubt, the standout guy in terms of pace. Absolutely electric was his pace. It was fantastic. Set the lap record on his way to victory in race 2. I mean, he crashed out of the lead in race 1 here last year, but in race 2, he had a long lap penalty to take, and he still managed to do that and come back through and win. So if there's anywhere that can rekindle the form that we know from Matteo Ferrari, hopefully it is here. Jordi Torres is another big one we need to talk about, because it was a bit of a quiet round for the two-time World Cup winner in MotoE. Just a difficult round in general for Jordi. Definitely had decent pace, but maybe not quite the outright pace that saw him right at the front. So he'll be hoping for a little bit better fortune here. And as you heard from Eric and also from Hector, they're pointing Jordi out as one. Whoa, that would definitely do quite good. It almost got run over there. That was close. So let's stroll down and see if Oscar Gutierrez is here. When we walked past the garage earlier and I had a look, I couldn't quite see him. But hopefully he's here, because it's well worth chatting to Oscar ahead of round 2. Because, well, he's a rookie in the MotoE class and he got on the podium in just his second race this season. So really, really good job from Oscar. Let me just see. I might have to ask one of the mechanics if he's here. Just squeeze through. Okay, so Oscar is not here, unfortunately, so we won't be able to chat to him, as we need to watch out for all the boxes. and the camera shoot that's going on behind us, if you just see there. Lovely livery on the Tech 3 squad. Of course, probably a very important round for them. We're MotoE French company, so big weekend for Tech 3, also a French team as well. As you see, the boss here, Hervé Poncharal, will be hoping for more victories, just like last time in Portimao, where I think he just said, "I love you" to Nicolas Spinelli when he won that first race. So certainly, Hervé will be hoping for more of that on home soil. But that's going to do it for his here inside the paddock before we go racing. Well, practice tomorrow, of course, for MotoE as well as qualifying. You can catch us on air. Myself and Neil Morrison will be commentating through it all with Francois down in pit lane. We'll be on air tomorrow afternoon for qualifying. It'll also be live on YouTube. And then on Saturday, we'll have race 1 and race 2 to bring you out for the MotoE weekend here in Portimao. So make sure you join us then, and thank you very much for joining us now.